Danielle here, and today I'm going to do a tag video. Lately I've been tagged in quite a few different tags from people, and it just sometimes takes me a lot of effort to do a tag video because I usually have to kind of think of my answers and get out lots of books and stuff like that. But the one I chose today actually is one that I don't need any books for. I'm just gonna answer the questions off the top of my head, so that's why I'm picking this one. But if you have tagged me lately, I will get to your tag. It just might take me a little bit of time. And this one is the Book Snob book tag, and it was created by Tia and all the books, and Tia also tagged me in it. And Tia is somebody I've just recently started following, and I really enjoy her videos, so check her out. I'll link her down below. And the first question is, Adaptation Snob, do you always read the book before you watch the movie? And this is one of those that it depends. If it is like I know I want to watch a movie and I know it's a book, then I will usually make an attempt to read the book. If it's in a genre I generally read. If it was like a sci-fi movie and I really have no interest in that type of sci-fi, then I might not read the book first. But if it's like a contemporary, I generally will read it first. The other thing is that sometimes I don't realize that something was a book first. And if that's the case, then I often will just read the book later if it's something I'm still interested in. Number 2, format snob. You can only choose one format in which to read books the rest of your life. Which do you choose, physical, ebook, or audio? This is a little hard for me because I use all 3 formats, just depending if I'm laying in bed. I'd rather read an ebook than a physical book, and I like audiobooks for ease of life and cleaning and all that stuff. But I have to say there, if I only could choose one, I couldn't do without physical books. There's something about just sitting and holding a book that I really love, and I don't think I could give that up. Number 3 is ship snob. Would you date or marry a non-reader? Well, I already am married, and my husband is not necessarily a non-reader, but he's not a big reader. He doesn't really read things physically. He usually reads things on audiobook, and I would say he probably only reads 1 book a month, maybe 2 books a month. So he's not necessarily the caliber of a reader as like me and some of the other booktube type people, but it wouldn't matter to me whether he was a reader or not. That we don't have to have the same hobbies. That's perfectly fine. And the good thing about him not being an avid reader is that if I have a book that I really need to discuss with somebody, I can just spoil it for him if I ask him first. And generally he'll be like, yeah, I'm never going to read that book. And then I can tell him all about it and share my feelings. So it actually works out pretty well. Number 4 is genre snob. You have to ditch one genre, never to be read again for the rest of your life. Which one would you ditch? And this is one, I mean, I could answer something like erotica, which I never read anyways, but that seems too easy. So if I was going to go with a genre that I actually do like to read, but that I would still have to give up, I think I'll go with historical fiction. And that's because I don't read a lot of historical fiction, so I think I could give it up. But I do enjoy it every once in a while, so it would still be a sacrifice. Number 5 is uber genre snob. You can only choose to read one genre for the rest of your life. Which genre would you choose? And that's a hard one for me because I do like to read so many genres. Like nonfiction, I can learn things from it, and fantasy puts me in a new world, and contemporary is just like a way to connect to real life, but away from my actual real life. So it's very hard for me to choose one genre, but I think if I could only choose one, then I would choose fantasy because I can get real life from movies quite easily. But fantasy, I really enjoy middle grade fantasy, and I like some young adult and adult fantasy, so I can enjoy all different age levels in that genre. And also, there's nothing like being transported to a whole new world. So I'll stick with fantasy. And number 6 is community snob. Which genre do you think receives the most snobbery in the bookish community? I think if you ask this question to different people, everybody's going to answer something different. But the thing that I have seen people be really snobby about is romance. And that could be any level of romance, even if that's just like chick lit, or if that's like erotica, or anywhere in there, smut, whatever. I feel like that gets a lot of snobbery, and people don't think it's quality literature. And I don't read a lot of romance, but I would never judge somebody else for reading romance, because romance is something that happens in real life too, you know, falling in love with people, marriage, things, dating, all that stuff. So it is a reflection of real life, and I don't see why people would be snobby about it, but I hear it all the time, people kind of like criticizing people for reading romance. And number 7 is Snobbery Recipient. Have you ever been snubbed for something that you have been reading or for reading in general? And yes, I have. If I had to think of one example, it was several years ago. I was attending this event. I don't even remember what it was. It was something through our church, I think, and it was definitely a demographic of people at this event that were a little older. At this time, my husband and I were newly married. I think we were in our upper 20s, early 30s, and most of the other people at the event were in their mid 40s and were better off economically than we were. And it was something where we were kind of all getting to know each other, and they were having every person answer a question like out of a jar. And the question I got was, if you could only read one book or book series the rest of your life, which one would it be? And I answered Harry Potter, because for me, you know, like, I feel like Harry Potter is a nice long series. There's a lot to it, like something I'm always going to enjoy. So if I had to choose one, I chose Harry Potter. And everybody in that room just like stared at me, and I have never had anybody react that way to Harry Potter before, because almost everywhere you go there are Harry Potter fans, and I don't know if it was because of the socio-economic difference or that they were like, you know, 10 to 15 years older than me, but it really felt like everybody was looking down on me, just the way they all just kind of stared. And I think somebody even said, really? And so I definitely felt the snub there about being a Harry Potter fan. And then I just wanted to tag a couple people. I'm going to tag 2 ladies that I do buddy reads with. They're also smaller booktubers, so I would recommend you go check out their channels. I will link them down below. The first is Jenn from the Book Refuge. She reads a wide variety, but she often does fantasy and romance. And then the other one is Danielle from the Book Fawkes, and she has a really small channel, so you really go and check out her stuff. I love watching her videos because her voice is so calming, and there's something about some channels when they have a calming voice. I could just like listen to those channels all day, where other channels, you know, as much as I love them, I'm like, okay, too much energy and I need something just calm at the end of the day. Danielle, I can just sit and listen to forever. So I would encourage you to go check them out. And that's it for this tag. I would love to talk to you down in the comments. Bye.